Oh, look, there he goes. Pops up.
Booyah, baby. Look at that. On time, on the dot. Well, I mean, you know, it's 4:01, but...
We're there.
It's a dot. You can dot that one. Hey, Mr. H in the house. What's up? Yeah, YouTube police got us. You just, you know, you think that the world's #1 rated YouTube show ever in the history of YouTube about paintball specifically would allow us to show paintball markers. Oh, I almost said no.
Did you see when you were on the Maddie show the other day? I was like, show your...
No.
I wrote in the comment.
Oh, no, but it wasn't live, was it?
Yeah.
That show was live?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I didn't
you
know
and
that.
Maddie the other day?
Yeah. I didn't know that was live.
I thought you were laughing, reading, and going...
Oh, I can't see in the comments. I can only see their thing. So anyway, check out my interview with Ghost Sports and Maddie Marshall. It was live. I didn't know that. Yeah, AJ Lords, my man, thank you. I'm really glad that you just asked that question. They do, and by they, I do. I just unearthed the box or my gear bag that had was full of these. There is a Hall of Icons announcement that's going to happen today. AJ, hit me up and we'll see if we have your size. So, welcome to an amazing episode of the Spick and Span Show. Mafia, what happened? What just happened? So, do we look good? Can you see us? Pull your screen up over there. What's happening? Are we okay? We good? Yeah, we've got an awesome show for you guys. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Our memberships and our viewerships have grown in this off season, and I really hope that this continues. I hope that you you didn't just come for the juice and you kind of like to stay for the rest of the ambiance. You know what I mean? Like stay the rest of the season. Today is obviously Dark Hunter Green in the Spick and Span Doghouse Studios. Today.
We didn't even plan that.
Yeah, we didn't even plan this. And yeah, Alex, we do have Tom Cole, the NXL president, is on the show today. Yep, I think
you probably saw an Instagram announcement.
I've got the same questions y'all do. Kyle, can you grab that Instagram announcement, screenshot it, and send it over?
I already screenshot it.
Put it. So then we'll get it to put it up here. We got to thank our sponsors, Junior and BFP Gears, in the house right now. Shout out to Junior, and thank you very much for all of your support for the team, support for paintball in general, doing awesome things. He's got, I think we've listed it off. He's got fields, he's got stores, he's got the online store, he does the excessive camp, he coaches Dynasty. Dude works tirelessly. So thank you very much, Junior and Gina, for all of your support here. Also supports a lot of the shows out there. Shows ours. I think he does Paintball Ruin My Life, does Shelley's podcast, Dan Shelley's podcast. So really great things. Awesome. Thank you. Also, big shout out to Mr. Adam Rickard for joining the show. Accept this thing. I'm going to put your name on the wheel. We're going to spin the wheel. I say we're going to spin the wheel, but at the same time, I'm hoping that we just make it through the show. We got to get to the end of the show to spin the wheel, but your names are queued up.
So did they say anything about? Did you get an email like, "Oh, sorry, we did this again"?
Yeah. No, they said at 29 seconds, and what it looks like from the picture, I'll pull it up here in a second. It looks like you're pulling a pistol out of your pocket. I was like, yeah, it kind of does look like a gun. I get it. And yeah. So we got banned for showing Kyle's Lux. So we've taken all the paintball markers out of the background. You can't even see. There's one right there. There's another one over here. So we stay strapped up here in the studio, but so don't come in. And yeah. Anyway, Clarity TB. Thank you very much for joining the show. Welcome to the support. Welcome to the support. Let me put your guys' names on here.
Also, there's already a lot of people in here.
Yeah,
you guys
cooking.
must have.
We're cooking.
Nice. It's funny too because I put that screenshot of what YouTube said on our story.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, "Oh, sorry, that's a bummer. The show was good while it lasted. Like forever. Like thought we were done forever." I was like, no, it's just
we'll be back. We'll
be
back, I hope. Also, if you do want to listen to the final hour of the show with Todd, where we do break down the NXL brackets, that is available on wherever you find your podcasts. Apple, Spotify, maybe, I don't know if you listen to podcasts on Amazon. I'm sure the Android listeners do.
Clarity TV. Let's go.
Let's get an airborne. Also, big shout out to Arfon and Gen X Global. I just had a talk with him, and he has some things cooking. Did you see you can get replacement lids now?
Oh, wow.
So I know that whoever saw the messages, guys, if you can get now just the lids that clip on to the pods that are all strewn across the outside of the field. So I guarantee you a bunch of the Groms out there are running around grabbing those pods that look like they're broken and then grabbing the lids. You just put the lids on the top.
You see that in the corner. And
you see those in the corner.
And you walk all the way over there and then you're like,
oh, that wasn't
broken.
You just leave it there.
Now you can get those.
So if you didn't know, now you know, and pick up the pods that are broken. Go on to Gen X's website.
That's some free marketing. We should tell our phone that. Like, to film the video, like,
yeah,
someone sees the pod and then they're
sad, like a little
away.
Tear comes to their eye,
yeah,
like that old trash commercial back in the 80s.
You walk over there.
Yeah, and then you walk over there and you're like, bing, light bulb. They're doing a great job with their social media too. They are. Speaking of social media, shout out to Doc. He's in the house right now. Our social media guru. Appreciate you. Really just staying up on top of everything, getting back to people who message us because I don't know. I got like 6 Instagram accounts and Facebook accounts that I manage, plus
6 kids.
You got the kids, the wife, the dogs, you. It's just like
we got. You don't have all those extra pets that we used to have.
Oh yeah, she tried to get a bunny the other day.
Yeah.
Was
also, a real bunny, not like the goat one?
No, a real bunny. Like a real, like she's like, oh dang. And I was like, were you getting a stuffed bunny or what are you talking about? She's like, no, a real one. I'm like, what, dude, stop it.
I felt bad after I sent you that ammo took a meal about the goat. And then she tried to tell me it was coming home. I didn't know how long it was going to go on for.
Yeah, that was a big one. Also, shout out to Sandy Toes in the house. Also, big shout out to the boys from NECTR. Getting me through. Dude, I'm telling you right now, definitely, I'm sure that I play paintball better on NECTR as well, but I surf way better when I got like, you get like a 30-minute whack out of one of those things, and that's kind of when my hands and feet get a little colder at this point. But I'm telling you, I'm like way better than I used to be the last time you surfed with me, which was New Year's, I think, last year, 2024.
Probably was.
Also, Pate Smith and Pate Smith Law. I see him in the house here. For your insurance claims, hit the guy up. If you guys just even have anything that you want to discuss and figure out if it makes sense for you to move forward, he helps to litigate and manage those pesky insurance claims. Also, speaking of which, I want to take a brief second to offer our sincere condolences to anybody who's been affected by the wildfires. I did hit up our boy Reaper because he lives in Encino. He said he was manning the house under mandatory evacuation with a hose and a pistol. And he said he had to fend off looters. Yeah, people were like coming up to his door.
Wow.
Yeah.
Reaper just needs to dress like how
he just dressed like his stuff, like
games, I wouldn't
and just stand there.
Looks like John Wick.
John Wick.
Before John Wick was cool.
AJ
AJ also was. I was talking to. He was saying his buddy stayed when they were trying to evacuate and hosed everywhere, entire yard, everything, and saved his house.
No way. Yeah, I mean this is outrageous. I also want to thank everybody who's reached out to us. We live in Southern California, obviously, but San Diego's been wildly unaffected. The winds have just kind of, if you kind of watch the graph of how the winds go, they literally just pin it straight from the desert and over the mountains and right through northern LA, which is the Palisades, the Altadena, the one right by Six Flags Magic Mountain, which is actually headed towards Glensfield in Moore Park. So I'm glad that didn't happen.
It's wild too. Malibu, all those houses.
Yeah. I mean, in the houses, some of the houses that were being burned are like $50 to $100 million.
Yeah.
It's insane. But also, if you were affected by the fires and you are trying to figure out the complexities of how to make an insurance claim or discuss that, you can reach out to Pate. He'll give you a free consult on anything you need, or if you have a family member or a friend or anybody who has been affected directly.
I was just asking about that the other day too.
Yeah. Pate can certainly point you in the right direction at least. So everything kind of east of that Highway 5 freeway line is relatively safe. Red is out there fighting the fires.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's up there. So I posted a picture up on the San Diego Dynasty page of him with his Dynasty little camping chair out for the Champs Club. Yeah. So questions and answers are free. They're here to help. So hit up Pate Smith. Pate, can you put your website? I think the website's down below. Put your website in there, and anybody who needs it can go ahead and join or shoot you visit the website and then shoot you an email if they need. So yeah. Anyway.
Happy New Year from the Scalp guys. What up?
Yeah, Scalps, let's go. Shout out to Callie Rudolph in here. Yeah, get out your abacus because we're gonna have to figure out this whole.
Last time we
thing.
were using that is for angle over the.
Yes,
the
no,
A.
that's the no, that's not the abacus. That's the sextant.
Oh, sextant.
The sextant. Get your sextant on. Get your sextant on. Also, you know, a couple of things. I also want to talk because this one's labeled the party is on, which means that there will be a players party after the first event, which will be fun Sunday night. We're gonna figure out exactly where it is. If once Tom gets finished explaining all the things that he needs to explain, but Hall of Icons will be doing another induction ceremony for some new inductees, some new members. The voting has finished, and the jackets are being made. Actually, you want to grab that jacket right there?
There's 5 jackets there.
The Hall of Icons one. I think it's got kind of in the back. There are lots of jackets in there. Is there a green one in there? Oh, it's right there.
This one?
Yeah, let's grab that one. So, if you are inducted into the Hall of Icons, and yes, I do have a couple more of these sweaters. Thank you, James from Island Designs. The puff is holding up very well. This is like a puff print. You get one of these really cool jackets. They are more difficult to come by than you think because Oliver has to go out and source these buttons. They're coconut buttons. So he has to climb up on the trees and grab the coconuts and then...
whittle them?
Yeah, get on his wood lathe. At least that's the way that Oliver makes it sound. He's like, these things are not easy to make. And I'm like, yeah, look dope though. You get these things. And this is also one of those types of jackets that if you win one of these things, this thing will. I mean, if things are burning down, grab this jacket because
it might be like knife proof.
This is
like
Kevlar. This is knife. This is pretty much bomb proof. I mean, you're gonna want this thing if like the zombie apocalypse happens and we're in The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be, this is the last jacket you need to own. Because it's heavy duty right here.
Hey, since we're gonna talk to Tom about all these new names, I was thinking before we get him on, maybe we could he could have a new title. Like, you know, if you pulled up his LinkedIn, what his position would be. So maybe you guys
give him a taste of his own medicine.
Yeah, you guys can all contribute what his new
I like that
title should be.
I like that. That's a great idea, Kyle.
Yeah.
So you're gonna reclassify us.
We're gonna
reclassify you. You want to write some of these down?
Yeah, I'll.
Do you need a notepad? I got a notepad right here.
Oh, I don't want to ruin your nice new notepad.
But I got a lot of extra space in it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I can
this
use,
is the show notes. Just show notes.
Yeah.
Also, because I just finished my last notepad. Kyle gave this one to me for Christmas. I did write on it Spick and Span Show 2024. So now we have, because I have another one in here that was 2023 or ish. So we've got all of our notes. So like a lot of times I have to go back because
those all weather mats were too. Oh, remember we worried about the sizing.
Yeah. Failure of the round, Chief Boner Officer, CBO.
Senior Director of Bad Decisions.
Kevin, is that Kevin the accountant of the league? No, it's Kevin Pillars. Grand Poobah. Senior Director of Making Bad Decisions. Commissioner Pro.
Oh, dude, Commissioner Pro.
So I like the ode to the, and I'm going to explain this to him, the nod to the back in the day, because I started, so back in the day it was rookie, amateur B, amateur A, and I believe pro. That's kind of how it went. Yeah. So I kind of get it, but I don't totally get it. Amateur A, amateur B, and intro. Oof, intro. I didn't actually look at all these. He called me and told me what they were going to be. I didn't get down to intro. We're starting it off. So anyway, we're going to get him on here shortly. Hopefully he's watching this. And then also Junior from BFP Gear has a question of the day for him. So anyway. Well, again, I want to kind of point out.
Thanks, Chris.
So 20 memberships? What's going on?
You get a sub.
You get a sub. Tyler Fork Tender. I like that name. That's a good one. Curtis Sims, Steve K, Scublado. I like that name too. Steve, Tony Phoenix Buell. There's a wetsuit company called Buell. And then what do we got? Michael Schaefer, Joshua Benson, Chris Dybel, Slider, Red Wolf 900. Yeah, and look, we're going to get into all that stuff. I just want to quickly go over a couple of small things that we did talk about on the last show, which were overlooked or kind of deleted by YouTube, I should say. Mm-hmm. Todd's announcement that Aftershock is with JT. He talked quite a bit about that. Also that he's getting a private jet. That one's not as important, but just feel like it's relevant still because we want to make sure that we cover all the bases. Also, the teams that he's supporting, he's got the Shock team, which is now going to be Pro Elite, I believe. He's got the Fems are also in JT. He's in JT. He's shooting Planet Eclipse. And, yeah, we broke down the brackets, which was not allowed to show you guys what they were. And I don't know if they've been announced just yet, but we'll...
But I thought Jason was like, it's okay, rip it.
Yeah. Well, I was just pulling up because I don't put it up here. So we did talk about the bracket of death, which we deemed to be... There's X Factor, Fit, NRG, Hurricanes, Tauntauns. Kind of tough. I think it's the Impact, Aftershock, Infamous, Uprising, and Leverage. That's the tough bracket. Houston Heat, Dynasty, Ironman, Arsenal, and NYX. And then Russian Legion plays Damage, Diesel, which is another one. Aftermath. That could also be the secondary or premier bracket of death right there. So depending on... because you guys have 7 guys, right? We were just talking about that. Mm-hmm. Possibly still adding another player. We don't know.
8, if Mark... is playing.
Oh, 8 break in case of an emergency.
Yes.
Oh, we got Sheer Law PLLC here. In the chat, guy gets a big payday, can't support the show. You hate to see it. And Chris Sawtell is like Oprah, and we will thank Tom for the extra views. Absolutely. So I'm going to open up the...
get those likes up to 1,000.
So Tom, if you're watching this, the Zoom link is live and ready for whenever you are. I'm going to get this... join with this. I'm going to get this graphic queued up. Let's see. What else do we have in the world of paintball? So next weekend... we are going to go out to Guadalajara.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I put it up in the Champs Club out there. I'm actually really excited. At first, I was excited because, I like Mexico in general. It just seemed like a big schlep. I've also had just slightly bad luck with getting my equipment to Mexico a couple of times. And I was like, this is going to be a thing. And then also...
Are you guys going through, are you going through the CVX?
So here's the thing. I am. Everybody else is flying out of their respective airports. And I just want to point out, I am a team player. Right? Yeah. Because my ticket to get down to Guadalajara was $750. To fly from Mexico, it's $75. And the Mexico border is only a 30-minute drive.
Yeah.
And then you walk across the border. It's a little bit of a schlep. It's kind of like...
You can park your car right out front.
I am.
Outside.
Yeah, I am. But you park it right outside of the place. Yeah.
Where Damien parked his, that one then?
Where do you park
it? Well, he parked... So there's a lot. You should park in the lot.
I'm parking in the lot. I'm not parking
it on the side.
Oh, when he got his car stolen.
Yeah.
No, I'm not parking it there. Absolutely not. Yeah. It looks like people are.
And I think his car, is not as advanced as a Tesla. I think if you take the Tesla, they got you on film right there.
Yeah. And I'm parking it in the premium lot. It's like it ended up being about this. It's like $25 a day, or to take an Uber there and back is like $120. So I'm gonna do that. And yes, Damien did get his car stolen by parking it in the cheap lot, but it makes sense sometimes. And yeah, again. If you guys are unfamiliar with the names that they've released, we'll give this to you while we're waiting here for Tom to jump in. I'm giving him another 10 minutes here, but
put it on the
2025. Yeah, let's throw this thing up here just in case, because I didn't know this at all, and he MLPB.
I always like reading the comments on these Instagram posts. I forgot to.
Oh yeah, bring some of those up. Let's kind of throw some of those up in there. Also next week.
Oh, there's like almost 400 comments.
We've got Eric Neal from the MLPB Armory is going to be in the house.
Oh, I see. That's why they said this.
Yeah. Tune into the Spicka Span Show tonight to hear Tom Cole discuss the changes and more exciting news for the 2025 season. So without you know, we're gonna bring those up a little bit more here in a second. What would you guys? What don't you like about it? I think is good because we want to compile some questions to give to Tom. Let's let me bring it back up here. Let's talk a little bit about what you guys don't like. Everything, okay? All right. So getting rid of semi-pro is a weird choice. You're absolutely right. Why? I think that that's a very good throw that one on there. So why?
He said make it make sense.
Yeah, and again, to make it make sense, that used to be what it was. I kind of was thinking, okay, well, so divisions make sense to me because that's what other sports kind of use. But let's see what other sports. What do other sports use? In surfing, there's the champions and the challengers series, right? Or you're in the world. I think it's what it is. There's champions and challengers. There's the Premier League. There's baseball. You could be a pro baseball player and play in double A's, triple A's, the minors. You know.
Someone said this isn't the way I wanted to go pro. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and it is, but
Chris Shear said I think this was Ryan Greenspan's decision. Everyone sent him a message.
Thank you, Chris. Yes, that was nice of him. Yeah, and so verbal. Okay, so good start. It's tone deaf. It's not going to help anything at all. So maybe there had to be some thought process that goes into it. So what would help? Let's now pivot because I can
solutions
see
instead of complaints.
Solutions, right? So if we don't like these, what do we like? Okay, pro motocross is CBA and pro. I like that. Thank you, Matt. CBA pro, Moto X, AA minors, baseball. Yeah, I mean, what would make a difference? And verbal. So you put yourself in the shoes again. It's overly complicated. I mean, amateur A, amateur B. So now there's, Division 5 are competitors, amateur player. So I can kind of see that. Like if you say I'm a D5 paintball player, someone's going to be like, well, how many divisions are there? 6, right? So that automatically puts you into that amateur category. But amateur paintball isn't a horrible thing. You know, saying you're an amateur paintball player. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's absolutely terrible. But let's. Do you want to pull up on your thing? Just kind of Google like a couple other, like snowboarding. What do they call the amateurs in snowboarding? What do you call amateurs in surfing? In moto BMX, like all the other leagues. Let's figure that out. So that way we do have a better.
I'll do it all in one WAP with ChatGPT.
Dude, I subscribe to Grok. I'm a Grok man now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, they were having a what is it? Black Friday sale. I got half off. Pretty good. Except I did ask what's the best SUV to buy if I'm a family of 5 with 2 dogs, 3 car seats, and it recommended the Tesla Model Y, which I had. It's too small. And then I said, that's too small. And he goes, I would recommend a Tesla Model X. Of course, the guy who owns that, it recommends his cars.
Wait, hold on. There's an update. They took the post down. These are not the names anymore. So yes. Score Internet 1, MOPB 0. There will be no changes to division names in 2025. Now Tom's waiting.
All right, so we got Tom Cole. We're going to admit into the...
April Fools.
Yeah, let me put the FaceTime. Okay. Application capture, window capture, application.
Dang.
Tom, you're here. I think you're muted. But hold on 1 second. Let me get you on here.
Okay, there
background. He is. I like your background.
Is it facing the right way or is it backwards?
You seem to be muted, or we can hear you. Or wait. Say again.
I said, is it backwards on your screen?
No.
You look great, man. You look fantastic. Let me just clean up the camera. So I guess I should start with how's your day been?
It's been great. Am I live already?
Yeah.
So what's new?
Nothing at all. Hanging out. I can't see you guys. That's what's.
Wait. I got you. How about now?
I just need a dynasty. Now I feel much better.
All right. What you sipping on? Are you still on the Diet Coke, or did you go something a little stronger after?
Scotch at this point. No, it's iced tea. It's iced tea. It is. Yeah. It was a good afternoon. Good afternoon.
You know, I guess I want to start by saying thank you for reaching out. You know, I was actually just randomly, before I even heard any of the other news, because I actually didn't even hear it until you told me. I was like, I should hit up Tom and see if there's anything he wants to chat about. So there was like something in the air already that was drawing us together for today.
I like to throw something out there just to make sure everybody's still alive, make sure everybody's excited.
No, that makes total sense to me. Yeah. You want to make sure
everyone up.
Because you weren't sure if you guys were getting shadow banned. You know, sometimes that's a thing. Like, we need to make sure our account works. So
yeah.
And why wait till April 1st to like really throw people for a wrench in everybody's day?
That is true.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and just address the elephant in the room, which is do you still have a job? Are you still employed?
Well, it's not daytime, so they have to fire me tomorrow at 9.
9.
9 a.m. is when you get fired around these places. Yeah, no, as of currently, I still have a job.
Okay.
It's a good way to get a bunch of people onto the show.
This was nice.
That's is actually really what it was, right?
Thank you.
Like,
we appreciate it.
We set it out right before the show. We said we're going to talk about it on the show.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. You know, it would have been a great way to pivot to like saying
sort of like your retiring thing.
That's like exactly right. Yeah. That was Dan. That was all Dan Shelley. You know how many people have?
That was all Dan Shelley, right? People smarter than us.
Yeah.
So I don't know if everybody knows we've backed off on the whole name change thing, right? So we don't need to keep running down that road. Yeah, it's good to see everybody's very passionate about what the division names are.
Okay, so let's just back it up a little bit. And what was it? What was it that you decide? What made you decide or felt the need to change the division names in the first place?
I'll give you the funny thing. So everybody keeps calling me and texting me, and they're like, "Whose idea was this?" Like waiting for me to like name some other unnamed idiot, and really it's just me. I just gotta name myself as the idiot the whole time. So I've always felt, I should say always, over the past couple of years, I felt like we needed to change on the division names because it is complicated to explain to people. And I know everybody in paintball understands it. But outside of paintball, it is a little weird, right? And so I felt it would reflect more where they were actually at in our lifespan of a player, right? And I think you played long enough to where you came up through amateur A, right?
Yes, yeah, I know. I understand. So, I understand what they
mean. And it hasn't called, it didn't make you suck, right? The fact that you came up and called you amateur A. So the thought, one, I didn't think people were going to be that tied to being called D1, D2, D3, D4, D5. So we definitely misread how much people were going to have emotional attachments to those names. But we just thought it'd be easier to explain to people on the outside. That's amateur. That's below amateur. That's intro. It means you're supposed to be playing that for only one season. We don't want people living in D5, right? That's not where you go to be the best that you can be. And D4 is really our biggest division, which is really pretty much amateur. So we were trying to make that, be a little better. And we are having a weird situation that's been ongoing, but it's been the worst this year where people are, my phone is literally just blowing up. There's one person that liked it so far, and I'm not even going to throw him under the bus and say who it was because I don't even want people to be mad at him. A lot of the pros, there's been some movement there in the pro division, both in teams and players and all that stuff. And so some people are left out in the cold. And so since that semi-pro division, I feel they have very professional camps and they're basically professional. And a team that came up from that just last year just won the World Cup. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's more reflective of what they are to call them pro elite.
Well, I do want to point one small just nuance in what you did say, which could actually we could repackage this and this could be the new branding is they're basically professional. You just said they're not quite professional, but they're basically pros, which is in my mind semi-pro fits that category. But if we want to rebrand them to basically pro, basically pro, and then gonna get there.
That's a Yes.
So
you could be in that word game.
But pro and semi-pro, or you could do the A's, triples, doubles, single, and then the B's.
We could.
I mean, I think.
Yeah. So I'm not. So I don't hate the idea, right? Let's clarify. I'm backing down. It's just not a hill I'm willing to die on today. I would like to have that job tomorrow at 9 a.m. But we'll just revisit it and put some more time into it. Like we actually have had a pretty busy off season, kind of making some stuff happen. So we did kind of rush this along a little bit. So we will see how it is.
Yeah, someone else did mention rookie, novice, amateur, challengers, semi-pro, and pro. You know, the problem is it's like no one wants to be called a rookie. But at the same time, if you're playing D5, you kind of own up to that. But I play D5 paintball. People would be like, oh, that's cool.
Correct.
They might say,
yeah, it confuses what you are, right? It's definitely a blending of the name. And part of the thing is we don't really want people playing D5 forever, right? We don't want you to get just good enough that you can crush everybody in a division, right?
Yeah, but you can still set your rules so that you can't play in D5 for more than a year. Like you have pretty good rules already. Like
people that want to do that. You have people that want to stay down there. So
of course, like I want to win as much as I possibly can, and people, that's obviously human nature right there. I'm not good enough to beat someone else, but I'm definitely good enough to beat up them. You know, I just played walk-ons the other day. You know what I mean? I felt really good about myself.
Did you play walk-ons the other day?
Not a lot, but yeah, I went out and played walk-ons. I had no clue who I was. Yeah. So I get it. I feel how sometimes those D5 sandbaggers win. You know, I just need to show people I'm a real man. You know what I mean? Yeah. I get it. But Tom, you guys already have.
Did you do well at the walk-on game?
What's that?
Did you do well at walk-ons?
Yeah, I played. So I've if you haven't heard, I've now taken a position with Core, and underneath the Core umbrella is Tipman. And so I've been doing some content creation for everybody under that Core umbrella, and so I put this cool video contraption on there, and I played some Magfed paintball with some of the Tipman markers, and they're actually really fun to play with. So the playing field was pretty level. You get 40 paintballs. Yeah, it's really fun. I gotta show you Magfed.
I saw that video.
Yeah,
Pro should be Magfed. They I think California. Were you in California or were you somewhere else?
I'm in California.
I think SE Village has got some of the best walk-on players in the planet out there.
For sure.
Might be some of the best tournament guys too, I guess, is where that falls in. But yeah, there's definitely, when you go play walk-ons out there, there's real people for sure.
Yeah. It was just I need to get a little bit more. I just got to get a little better equipped if I'm gonna actually go out against guys that knew what they're doing. You know, these were rental guys that I was, putting it to.
Yeah, you don't want to pick on the rental guys.
Yeah, I had the magazines in my pockets, and then I had to walk around. It was like Hansel and Gretel with breadcrumbs, trying to find out where all the mags were on the ground. It was a mess.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else do you guys have cooking out there? You said you're working on a lot of stuff. You guys are super busy.
Yeah, well, we are working on a lot of stuff. I mean, obviously TV right now is at the forefront of our minds, is where we're trying to go with that. We already have, theoretically the ESPN thing. We haven't really decided what direction that's going to go, but we have other options, which I'm not going to get into, but let's just say we have other options. Can't kind of ruin that fire before it gets started. But yeah, so we have other options that we're exploring right now that I'm kind of excited about. So we will see. I mean, I literally feel like we were on the fast track to the whole TV world thing and outside sponsorship.
That's what keeps me playing, to be completely
3
honest.
years, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was Ben Gay.
It's saltwater and great decisions. Obviously the Spicka Span Show and that TV deal that's been looming for the last 25 years. But
why I dangle it.
Thank you. But the ESPN deal, you guys we're not just at a possibility talk. We're in negotiation talk, correct?
Correct. Yeah. No, the ESPN thing is
it's happening. So you want to learn about.
The only thing that would hurt the ESPN thing would be if we signed some other deal between now and signing with ESPN that said that they didn't want us doing ESPN.
Yeah.
So either we would have ESPN or we'd have a bigger deal.
That's absolutely right. And so are we talking about doing the same type of format where it was just the finals of one of the events? Are you going to do a standalone, or there's just a bunch of different options?
So we keep in mind the ESPN guys are pretty adamant about not doing a standalone event. That's their big thing. Mm-hmm. They really feel it loses some integrity, which brings me to question when I watch tire wrestling, how where we were at in that scope. But they were definitely impressed with our production value and everything that we did. Uh-huh. So and obviously we're pushing now for a better time slot. We got probably the worst time slot known to man for that one. So we're currently pushing for a better time slot and more involvement. So.
And I mentioned it to you also. I've been, or at least people have been telling me that they've been watching paintball on TV still. Where are they going to see? Has anybody actually in the comments here? Has anybody here watched or seen paintball on TV since the ESPN debut in the last like couple of months?
Someone also told me they saw a different game too. Wasn't that?
Yeah, no, it's a different game. We've Unbeaten is the other channel that we have going on. It's a company out of Australia. And they have some like backdoor deal with Amazon, I'm guessing. So, because when we negotiated, they didn't have Amazon. Since then, they've had Amazon. So now it is available on Amazon, and some Sundays they'll just play a live tournament. So they get our old tournaments after they've gone public, after they've been live, right?
Okay. Yeah, so, Steve
that's been good. Unbeaten. So yeah, so it's crazy. Like just in the past year, like if you took the amount of like cold emails that I've received from outside people. And I'm not, none of them have really led to anything, but it's just a drastic increase in the amount of volume of people reaching out to us and seeing where we're at and what it takes to get on board and where the sport's headed. So,
well, that's obviously really a nice breath of fresh air to know that there is some headway going on. There's a lot of buzz about it. And that's all kind of going in the right direction.
Yeah, and so this post today, I was feeling really froggy.
Like, yeah. So
today was one of my best days ever until about 5 o'clock. So yeah, no, I feel great, right? So until that post,
I mean, it's good for paintball. You got the algorithm.
Yeah, we got a lot of people. It's actually a really good marketing ploy.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that's why you guys did it, to get more people discussing and talking about the first event, especially, and then also throwing in their hats in the ring for different concepts and ideas. And so what kind of focus group do you guys have? And I kind of already know the answer because I've talked to you about this before, but do you guys have, when you come up with ideas, whether it's rule changes, or I think one time you told me in Chicago, you were like, hey, we're going to change some rules for the next event. Like, why? And you're like, well, I don't know, because I feel like we need a shakeup.
I never want to change rules mid-event. I remember I did say something, but that you had a good argument.
Yeah,
I would never want to change anything mid-season. I'm anti that. So if I pitched that to you, I was pitching someone else's idea. I'm not pitching mine because I am anti-changing anything.
No, you might be anti-changing ideas after you heard my reason why not to, but
maybe.
But what kind of what is the process?
You know what I do? I call everybody.
You call everybody. Okay, so you called a bunch of people about this, and they were all like, yeah, that's a great idea?
No, so I didn't do that for this one. I said I was so busy that I didn't get to call all my usual people, which made it even extra hard because then they start texting me as soon as it goes out, being like, what the hell? Normally, I've already prompted a bunch of people, and they knew it was going to be a bad idea, right? So this time, they didn't get a chance to get in and intervene. Well, no interventions for me.
Well, hats off to the graphic design team who was like, typing this in going, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But the boss said so.
But good on you too for listening to everyone too and being like, you know what? I come back on this and maybe it wasn't the best idea, and for like owning up to it. You could have easily probably been like, it was a couple other people. I'm not going to say their name, but we all put the decision. Like, came on here. You're like, all right, I'll take the L. It was my idea. Like, good on you for that, Tom.
Well, thank you. Obviously we have a team, and it's live by the sword, die by the sword. I get all the credit, right? When we do something good, I get all the credit, and when we do something bad, I get all the credit. So that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
And I had something else in there I was gonna say. And I got a 3 to 10. Like, I really don't. If I think it's the right move, I'm 100% convinced this is gonna move the needle. Then I'm going all the way with it, right? So no one liked the European decision, right?
Which was.
That we cut down the Americans. We didn't allow the American teams to play. Like, the Europeans weren't sold on it. The Americans weren't sold on it. But it's something I believed 100% was going to move the needle for paintball in Europe. I would say that no one really liked the 20 pro team thing when we decided, except for the 4 that we moved up. And now I think we have the most balanced pro division we've ever had. So this is just something that I didn't think it was going to have this much of a rub. I thought it had a 2% chance of making things better, and I didn't think anybody would really care. So once I saw how much people really did care, and I didn't even have like I said, I have one person that likes it.
I'm sure that there's more than I think there's more, and I mean, I said I didn't understand it. I don't understand why we felt that. Like, I got the amateur A, B, and I thought maybe novice or rookie would be the move because I've been through that system. I started as a rookie, and then I went novice, and then I went amateur B in 1999, beat pro Tom Cole, Bad Company, in the 1998 World Cup. And then
the problem with these shows, I just have to keep reliving this stuff.
I just said it. It's anecdote while I'm reliving my.
So the funny thing is now no one on this show is looking at that as an accomplishment. It's sort of like you playing the Tipman guys. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, you beat Tom. Everybody's beat Tom. So don't take that as too good of a thing. Back then it was a thing. Now it's not such a thing. What was I gonna say there? I get off on making fun of myself. The funny thing is everyone doesn't care about all the division changes for everybody else's division except for their division. So yes, the D5 guys don't care that I changed pro. The D5 guys care that I changed it to intro. So every specific group cares that we changed their name, but they don't care about all the other names. Mm-hmm. So if I really wanted to get this done, I should have just changed like one at a time. So that way I'd only piss off like 600 people at a shot.
That makes sense. Yeah, just randomly throw it in there kind of like right in the middle. So it's like semi-pro, D2, amateur
also
A,
known as
D5.
But
yeah, I mean, look, I kind of understand to a certain extent where your head is because you do in fact talk to more people outside of the industry than we do. So you're talking to the executives from ESPN, or you're talking to the hotel people from XYZ hotels. And you're like, oh, yeah, we got these divisions, and we got the pros, we got semi-pro. I just don't see where the confusion is when they're like, first of all, I don't even see where their minds are like, we don't really care what the names of your other divisions are, as long as they're not like eat shit and level 69.
Yeah.
Like,
I've never had anybody say you really should change that name to something that makes more sense. I just see them gloss over a little bit.
Yeah, maybe it's because they're just like, all right, well, how do we get to the pro guys? And it's just you want to market it out to you want to just know, they want to know how many people are in your league, how many people watch it, how many people play it, and how many people are going to spend money at my insert name of business here, rather than like what divisions are your divisions called?
Yeah, but so think of it the other way though, right?
Okay.
So you're a new person, you're a mom, whatever. Because I'm not concerned just about us, right? I'm trying to concerned about tournament paintball, right? And and let's clarify something. So we are growing, right? The NXL and the Major League Paintball brands, that side is growing, right? The WNXL and all that stuff is growing, but tournament paintball as a whole is not growing. So all that is happening is we are taking a larger and larger market share of the player base, right? So let's say that we've been at 18,000 people, roughly, right? So we've been at 18,000 people playing tournament paintball since 2010, right? It's not healthy, right? We should, inflation grows at 3% a year. We should be at least growing at 3% a year, right? So whereas our specific portion of it is growing, the rest of it is not. Mm-hmm. And so if you're a first-time player and you go to log into, we'll just use PBLI, right? So you go and you want to play a starter 3-man somewhere, right? It is overwhelming when you click on it, and some of it may just come back to information or whatever, but like there's all these weird divisions, right? D4 5-man, D4 X-ball, D3 this, D3 that. We all understand that, but a new person could be intimidating, right?
Okay.
So if you said this is the beginner division and I'm a beginner, I would know where to go.
Well, there will still be the same problem, because if it was intro 5-man, intro X-ball, intro 3-man, it'll be the same.
But intro, you would at least know that intro, because you can play X-ball for the first time, you can play 10-man for the first time.
Well, then why don't you just make a division?
You don't be playing Dynasty the first time.
Then you should just change either D5, or you should change. How many people are coming to the NXL playing their very first tournament ever? A lot?
No.
Okay.
A lot of them are playing us for the first time.
But that's different, right? We're talking about two separate things. We're talking about a kid. So why don't we just make a D6?
Other people adopt.
Yeah. Right? So why don't we just make D6 rookie?
We don't want D6.
Okay. Well, then make
really 6 different levels of paintball.
But
players?
There is D6 first of all. I believe there is D6, correct?
Some people have D6,
right?
Yes.
But that's who we're talking about. That's what you said. You want a barrier to entry.
D7 the next couple of years.
Well, you want barrier to entry, right?
No, I want to get rid of the barrier to entry.
You want to get rid of it, right? So okay, so exactly. Okay, so we want to figure out where the most inviting name is that's appealing to the first timer, the person that's not going to be overwhelmed, so that when they look at all these divisions, and now they're like, well, I guess I'm just the last division, D5 or D6. Again, the NXL isn't dealing with those types of customers as much, but you are setting the bar, correct? You want to have a bar set so that everybody uses the same standard. Which means that I believe that you should just call D6 intro or rookie, because that would be the easiest thing. Because then you go, I play rookie or D6 or intro paintball, I call it rookie or anything, and then I move into the divisional leagues, and then I'm 5, 4, 3, 2 pro, something like that. Because again, you're just changing. It's
the definition of semantics, right? It's the definition of semantics.
Well, kind of, except we want to. You can keep everything the same. You just add that one that you don't even cater to anyhow. Because again, you're making an intro league that, it just, I think that you could still create the result that you want without having to mix up anything that you currently service. Because again, you don't service first-time players in tournaments.
Fair enough.
Right? So that's not what you need. What you need to have is a golden standard across all divisions to say we need something that's more inviting, so that when people look at the schedule, they immediately know where they can go. And and your thought is that D5 and D6 aren't those places because of the reasons that you gave, which they don't know what that even means. Where's the beginner? I'm assuming it's D6, but that just maybe sounds a little intimidating for me. So what we should do is just name one intro or whatever, and that's your starting base beginning. Then you go up, and I think rookie is what everybody in here says is something that seems to resonate.
I like open.
Open's a little scary.
Yeah, open gets scary. Yeah, open's basically like you could be playing Mike Tyson.
yeah.
It is interesting though, because there's not a lot of sports that separate people by skill level and not time of life.
That's true also.
I cannot think of one, and if someone knows one, tell them to chime in, right? But if you're going to run a marathon, it's divided up by ages, right? If you're going to play sports, it's almost always divided up by ages until you get to, and maybe if you played, I've never played like basketball intramural, like after you get out of school or whatever, so I don't know how they divide that up, but I've yet to see like a ranking system that was based upon skill level. I guess Pool's got something.
So just from my limited knowledge in watching surfing, there was a 17-year-old or 16-year-old girl that won multiple like absolute top of the line professional divisions, and I think there is that one. I think a lot of those alternative sports, paintball is the same way. Look at there's players out there who, I don't want to say that there's any 16 or 15-year-old, like 16-year-olds, but or certainly not 15 or 14-year-olds, but there certainly could be. You're absolutely right. So there could be that is certainly skill-based. So us, martial arts, eventually, but again, if you're competing in martial arts, so getting the belt, and I'm just reading off of what people are saying in the comments.
Yeah, maybe
the belts it could be, but if you're going to go fight someone, they're not going to be like, all right, 40-year-old man, you're going to fight this little kid here who just also happens to be a black belt.
They then do it, they do it by weight then too, right? To some level.
Yeah.
Like boxing, right? Boxing's by weight. So it's interesting. In most of the sports that do rank by skill level, they're doing that in more of a way to create a I can't remember the term now, where you handicap system, right? So golf's got a handicap system. So Bart's probably like a great golfer, and if he played me, he would have to get a hole in one every time, and I could shoot
give you strokes or something.
Give me strokes, right? So I know pool works that same way, right? If you're a 7 playing a 1, they only got to win one time, and the pro person's got to win 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, remember Coleman? Coleman does a lot of that cool stuff, and he's a 7. So if I played him, I only had to win once out of 7 times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, skiing maybe is something similar to that where they can. Yeah, and Tyler Harmon actually was pro at 16.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good one. So yeah, again, I don't see too much of an issue with the divisional names. It seems like a lot of people definitely didn't like the new change, but like what Kyle mentioned, and I have it written down here as well, is like it is nice and refreshing. I didn't know until literally right before you logged in that you guys walked it all back, because you were coming on to explain and stand your ground, plant your flag, but at the same time you were like, hey, look, this was a mistake. And
well, no one likes it, right? Like I said, like I'm willing to die to a 3-10, right? If I think it's really going to move the needle, right? Mm-hmm. And hell, I'll go a 9-1 if I think it's something I really believe in, right? But this is not something that I felt like I was willing to like.
Yeah, this wasn't gonna sell. Yeah,
I couldn't even have a good healthy debate. Like I talked to Marcelo for a couple of minutes, and I couldn't even, I couldn't even argue, right? I was just like, I'm not that. I'm not as vested to go to the end on it, and I argued with Marcelo about the European thing for probably like 3 hours just standing in line somewhere. This was not something I was willing to argue to the end.
Okay. So
he wants credit for getting me to rescind it, but it's actually Rennick Miller.
Rennick Miller did it.
Yeah, Rennick once, long time ago, he told me you miss with every shot you don't take, and so sometimes you take shots and sometimes you miss.
Sometimes you miss.
Some of us miss more often than not. So, I can't give Marcelo credit for that, but he did throw it out there, give me the life.
Let's talk a little bit, because we've got a lot of people asking about the ICPL. Are you going to allow pros? There's all sorts of questions about the ICPL. If anybody has ICPL questions, also I was going to write this in the chats real quick, Tom, before you answer that. Rather than you guys complaining and saying focus on other ways to grow the sport, just why don't you give us some examples, because you got Tom here right now, rather than just constantly echoing grow the sport. Why don't you focus on growing the sport? Give us some ideas. And Verbal, I saw you in here, and I haven't heard back from you. But let's be constructive, because you can't just arbitrarily say, why aren't you growing the sport, Tom? Because in his mind, and my mind as well, I think he's doing a very good job of it, and he's also trying his best. Some clearly don't land properly, but if you guys have ideas, give them to us right now. And yeah, take action on your own as well. But we can certainly run them by him if you guys have a good idea, rather than just saying, and I'll point out the last person, KH. What ideas do you have, aside from putting a skull in there and then saying, let's focus on other ways? Let's do it.
It's funny, right? So like we'll do the WNXL thing, right? So I wouldn't say a lot of people roll with the WNXL when we started. And now it's the single largest growth in female players we've ever had, right? Like it has been a huge success from my point of view, right? And so I don't get too upset when people just hashtag grow the sport.
I know. We have a lot of people in here, and a lot of people are just kind of like harping on it, but saying do something actually, and it's like, what do you got in mind? What do we got here? Modern marketing strategies. I mean,
look at Major League Paintball. You know how many people like that change? There still was a lot of people not getting the Major League Paintball thing, right? And I believe that's led us to TV and Hertz.
Yeah, I think MLPB PB is
we're trying to climb a huge mountain, right? And we're just taking steps, right? There's nothing that we're going to do that's just going to get us to leap to the top. Right. So you just keep making little steps and little steps and little steps till you get there. And sometimes you take a step backwards, but you got to keep pushing forward. Right. So, I mean, I don't take it personal when everybody gets all upset.
I know.
So
let's talk a little bit about, I'm going to write down some of these questions.
Let's talk about the ICPL real quick. So we're doing the ICPL next year. There's a lot of debate about that, but we will be partnering with some people who are going to help run it, help field owners that are going to run it and kind of be on site. We will make sure that we oversee the reffing and all that kind of stuff to make sure everything's fair. but we will continue with the ICPL. 10-man's my passion. It's like one of my favorite formats in the world. So we're not going to have that go away. We had a lot of options going into this year about different stuff that have captained, but this I think is a good move, right? Keeping it alive for the people, but we are seeing a decline, right? Because when we started 10-man, like I started at UWL 10 years ago, 2009. It's more than 10 years ago. God, it's like the decades, right? So those people that were in their 40s and 50s that were like, this is cool to get back into playing, now they're getting back out of playing and into like old folks homes and stuff. Yeah. So,
that's the majority of Dynasty fans at this point.
You can only risk breaking a hip for so long before you're like, let's move into something else. So I think it fit a need, and I think it was great. It got a lot of people back into it, but it is not going to be something that is going to continue to grow unless we find a way to get more people involved in it. And 10-man is just, it's talking about a barrier to entry. That's probably one of the hardest things to just get started in, right? You got to find 10 people to begin with, right? So it's a challenge. We're going to keep it going. I was really happy with how it did in Europe. It's really kind of like got those new people playing, and I thought that was really cool. The problem in the U.S. is we're dealing with a very sophisticated customer in 10-man, right? They know what they want. They're really good at paintball. They're super competitive, right? And you just add all that into the mix of like a woods ball tournament or a classic event. It just makes things challenging, shall we say.
Hey, you did. Someone just mentioned it, and I totally glossed over it because I do recall you mentioning something about the new semi-pro division and what we're gonna do with. I think someone called them all the homeless pros. The lost pro guys. What are you gonna do about? You did mention something because we talked about LVL as an example. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're working on a program to kind of get them guys. I mean, we basically need to re-rank the people that from pro that have lost their home or whatever into that. And that was kind of like the vision of the pro elite thing was we were going to basically classify them as pro elite so they could play semi-pro and not lose them to the sport, right? Because as this continues to happen and more teams move up, and I really do believe there's a lot more parity between the semi-pro teams and the pro teams, right? I know that sounds crazy, but I do think they're far ahead of where they were 5 years ago on the semi-pro front. Like I said, this is the first time ever that I don't even know what you want to call it, a legacy team. I mean, Paintball Fit being semi-pro last year and winning the biggest event that we have is a powerful thing, right?
Absolutely.
So I think there's some duality there, right? So I think that these people that, whether it's you when you retire, right? Like if you say, look, I'm over this, it'd be still nice to have you playing, right? Maybe you put the band back together or whatever. Maybe you and Alex and Yosh all go at the same time and want to go play down, 2 tournaments a year or whatever, just to keep your name out there or something so that you still have a reason to have a podcast. There's a lot of options. We weren't at that place 10 years ago, and now I think we are. Obviously, the people online don't necessarily like that, but yeah, we'll have to come up with some type of system to make sure those people have a home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because obviously there's a lot of the Blast Camp guys, a lot of the NY.
I mean, Level Up was the first team that really was a problem, right?
Yeah.
They sold their spot. And a lot of these guys, they're dedicating their lives to paintball, right? They're really playing the tour, and I mean, even when they go down semi-pro, but like even let's just say a team that moves up, right? It's almost everyone's dream to go pro in the U.S., right? And so they move up, they play pro, and for whatever reason, that team doesn't make it, whether they don't make the roster or the team folds because of the extra challenges of being pro. I don't want those guys just to leave the sport, right? And if they can't play at our events, there's really nowhere for them to play. Big games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? They can go join the Wolf Brigade and play, Ion, right? So, we just don't want to lose people. We're not big enough to be driving people out of the sport.
You know what? That's actually an interesting concept, right? If a pro team who loses their spot,
so we already re-relegated,
or gets relegated. Their points get knocked down.
Their points do get knocked down, but it's more of a challenge with the people that are aging out a little bit, right? So historically, I mean, if you look at for as long as paintball's been concerned, right? Typically, when you got cut from a pro team, that was the end of your career, right? So because that was the pinnacle, and you got cut. Now we're seeing more and more people wanting to still play the game they love. Right? Before, I think it was an ego thing, right? Because we only had right. 50 pros or 100 pros, right? And so now you're going to have to go hang out with, let's just pick on someone. I don't have anybody to pick on, so we'll pick on Spicka. So let's say Spicka decides tomorrow. Sorry, Spicka. There's no one to call.
Not a lot of bandwidth up there right now.
So Spicka this year decides he wants to, he likes the game, but he wants to get back to his roots and play with a semi-pro team and help those guys go pro next year, right? So that would be a good thing, right? Let him stay out there and keep playing. So back in the day, he would have just retired.
Yeah.
His ego would have said, I don't want to run into Ryan and Marcelo and admit to them that, by the way, so what happened with your stick with whatever, you know what I mean? It was just kind of an ego thing. And even when we started the ICPL, the amount of people that were like, I want to play pro, but I don't want to practice and play and do all this stuff, but I can't play amateur because of that name. And I'm like, all right, well, you either get into the fire or you don't. Like, I can't help you with all that, right? But it was a real problem. People did not want the amateur moniker once they were pro, but they didn't want to compete against people that could shoot back. So it was a circular argument.
Right.
So, but now I think there's more people that are in the love of the game. Rodney Squires, right? Rodney Squires loves paintball, right? And, if he wants to, leave with half of the Dynasty entourage and go play semi-pro, I think they should be able to. And we wouldn't have done it before because the semi-pro teams weren't ready for that, but now I think they are. I think any team that left pro with 5 or 6 guys and thought they were just going to go down and whip semi-pro into shape, they got some.
I completely agree with you, and I think that's actually something that a handful of people have also mentioned is and I thought it would be a cool thing. Is kind of like you get at the end of World Cup, you get to like fight for your spot. So like NYX essentially would have had to play leverage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd have to play leverage best 2 out of 3 at the end of World Cup to see if they get to keep their spot.
The problem with that is, and yes, everybody's mentioned that even back in the old champs and challengers thing. The problem is the semi-pro has a different roster restrictions than pro does. That's one of the things we were trying to blend there, right? So right now you can't. NYX has the ability to pick up you, Mouse.
No, I'm saying that as soon as the dust settles from World Cup, maybe the bottom place team, maybe the bottom team gets relegated. So NYX, no matter what, they drop and leverage comes up, and say New York Wrecking Crew is in second or whoever was in second. You take the 19th place team and they play and they actually have to duke it out, and that's like so ML Kings would have had to play against the World Cup roster had to play against the World Cup roster of the second place team. So 19th and second. So you could effectively get 2 new teams.
If you win semi-pro though, let's just say you're going to go pro the next season, you have 5 months to build a team, right? So if you're in semi-pro now, you would not be able to have 3 pros on your roster.
No, I know. I'm saying
in the off season you would.
The top team gets it. The top team automatically goes in. The bottom team
have an extra
18th place because they're pro. They've got pro guys on their roster. Has to play the second place team, and then a team like, for instance, Blast Camp, who ended up buying their spot this year anyway. They would have had the opportunity coming into 2024 season. At the end of 2023, they would have possibly been able to get their pro spot, which they so badly wanted. So second place semi-pro has to play 19th place pro. So there could effectively be 2 teams that make it in and 2 teams relegated if the pro team loses. That will be the most watched game.
It would definitely be the most watched game, and I have 2 stories there. So one, the problem is no one really survives relegation.
Yeah, well, they got to hang out.
No, what I'm saying, no one has survived it, right? Right. No team has gone down to relegation and said, except for Fit, kind of in a weird situation, right? But no one has really ever gone down and said, I'm just going to go play semi-pro for a year and win my spot back.
Right.
Funny thing is when we had Champs and Challenges at the PSP, I remember watching X Factor play something to move back up or something, and it was like a close game, and I was like, congratulations. I don't know if that's really what you want to hear. And they're like, no, that was a tough game. We're very happy to have won that game. I'm like, yeah, okay. But yeah, it's all these things could be tweaked, but it's challenging, right? Everything you do has unforeseen consequences.
That's true. So we have a handful of concepts on kind of growing the game, and I do want to ask a question from Junior from BFPGear.com, who sponsors a segment on the show, the question of the day, and it's actually relevant right now to kind of the growing the sport concept. And he asked, why is it that despite the amount of paintball parks in the U.S., Information on the NXL MLPB is often lacking. What features or promotions related to the NXL would you like to see incorporated at a paintball park to help spread the word about professional paintball?
That is a good one, Junior.
That's a very good question. He said that, and he goes, I was going to ask about the divisions, but I'm pretty sure you guys were going to cover that already. This is a great, but it's a really great question.
Love Junior.
And I mentioned earlier, on the show, like he's got his hands in like across like all facets of paintball, because he's got the brick and mortar stores, he's got the fields, he's got a semi-pro team, he's got the online BFPgear.com, and then he's also boots on the ground at NXL. So like he's got like
him and his wife single-handedly probably helped make the Summit Awards and Summit Show happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do a lot.
Yeah, they do a lot. So shout out. So that's one of the reasons why I've always felt since we've left the woods, right, and we've gone airball, right, there's been a disconnect between between traditional paintball parks and tournament parks, right? So I talk to people like Anthony and Dave Baines and the fit people, right? A lot, right? Because they're in our core business, right? Mm-hmm. And by default, I talk to Giovanni because we've been friends forever, but I don't spend a lot of time. No, the tournament scene is not that ingrained in fields. And that kind of changed a little bit with the ICPL and the Classic revival, but we need to have a better relationship. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted the Summit Fields and Stores things, because we wanted to be able to hear their challenges and come up with ideas on how we could integrate with them better. I think the best thing that we could do is to create a national entry-level tournament series that is funded not funded, but hosted by local parks, and show them how to make money at running tournaments. Because that's the challenge. It's every time we make something that's a cool factor, right? Like if we sit down and we're like, it'd be really cool, let's add buttons that are Bluetoothed to the start box.
I thought you were going to say change the names of the divisions.
Or we can change
perfect time. That would have been perfect.
Thank you. It creates a barrier to entry to that park to be able to do it, right?
Sure.
And I even talk to my peers, people that I grew up with playing their tournaments, right? Where they're like, I couldn't run a tournament now, right? I don't know it, and it's changed a lot. So we need to do a better job of getting information out as a tournament.
It would be one thing that is a small Band-Aid, but you have the field directory. I know that you're working. I know Core's also working very.
We have one at Flawed. We have 19
yeah. So
visit on the ESPN show.
Yes. And getting that getting the MLPB affiliate field. So sign up to make sure your field is listed on our thing. Please put up this little MLPB, placard, this 5x7 placard at that you can see with a QR code. That just it's just an MLPB affiliated field. We offered this something very similar with Team USA. If you want to support Team USA in any year, your fields can spend, you give them $100 or $200 or whatever. There's many different packages. And then you get I support Team USA banner, Team USA paintball banner. So a similar concept where you just have some sort of branding there. So when the kid does, or mom is like sitting there signing her son up or their daughter up to play paintball for the day, and they can kind of like scan in and they'll be like, what's this? And it's like, boom, takes you to a little video page. It's like, this is Major League Paintball starting at intro division or rookie division and D5 432 semi-pro. I'm just gonna kind of like throw it at them.
If the world does not have enough memes, I have definitely given the ability to create more memes, right? So if I fail at everything else, we can say that I've added memes to the world.
No, but I think the beginners section is good, and that is a very important aspect of the game that we're talking about that should be represented at the local field, because that's where it is. That's where we need to have it. So again, having some sort of some branding there, and this is something that I've done in the past. I've done it for Anthony's field. I'm maybe doing it for Core as well, but is redoing some of those safety speeches. You could have, and I've tossed this off by you as well, where like we imprint professional paintball on a newcomer. So when you go to the field and everything's on a video, and it's like, hey, welcome to paintball. Please put your barrel plug in. Do this. Don't wear, keep your goggles on. Don't wear cleats at my field, or wear this here. Don't pick paint off the ground. but that should be delivered from a professional paintball player, because then, again, Marcelo's a great story, and we brought it up a million times. It was like, and so many players that are out here, they go to the paintball field and they look over, and it's their very first time. They're like pretty nervous. They're like, wow, this is gonna be exciting. I've never done this before. And they look over and they see the professional side of it. They see that there's like competition people out there, and you're like, dude, that's cool. Let's go watch that a little bit. I want to do that. And so that's, you know, obviously that's a double-edged sword with a lot of the field owners out here. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'll give you some stats, because this is something that I'm actively working on like this week, is trying to figure some stuff out, right? So if last year we had 3 million people play paintball, right? We use that math because that's the Sporting Goods Manufacturers Association. 3 million people said they played last year. That's probably 2013's number, but we'll pretend it's 2014. So how many of those people do you think became a tournament player of any kind in the U.S. last year? I'll be making up a number, but I can tell you where it's
3,000.
I'm going to say it's probably closer to 1,000, but okay.
Okay, so we don't know.
So I do know, but I don't have it right off the top of the head. But let's just say it's 3,000, just to give you argument's sake. So what is that? That is 0.1%. Is that right?
A little further down than that.
Okay, so it's pretty bad conversion rate. So that's really what we got to concentrate on from our point of view, not necessarily the parks owner, right? But
3,000th of a point or something.
And so I did someone with math get in there. I'm sure there's someone's going to do it. Math's not my strong suit. You know, and so I looked at other sports. I tried to compare other sports, and the data is kind of hard to find. But bowling has the data, and they're at 1.7%, right? So that would mean of those 3 million people, that would be, what is that, 45,000, something like that, people? So it's more math people jumping there. But I think it's 45,000 new people a year would at least try tournament paintball. And that really needs to be our goal, right? We need to get, because every step of the way you have a conversion rate, right? So from 3 million to playing your first tournament or buying your own equipment, and then from that to continuing on, right? Because at some point in time, we get you're in forever, right? I mean, I'll use Rodney Squires again, right? He has played every format known to man, right?
Yeah.
And loves it, right? And so he's a lifer. And as long as we can keep the lifers in, which we do, people play forever once they start playing, then we just need to increase the velocity that the new people are coming in and making sure they are embraced and have a good time. We run everything as an industry a little like a speakeasy, right? Like we need to be more clear on how everything works and all that stuff. So,
Did you know that I was coaching Rodney's son, Jake, who's really good at paintball, on Team Omega. Shout out to Orlando. I see him in here, out here at the WCPPLs. And for the final event, Rodney was like, I want to play with my son, and Omega needed a couple guys. Unfortunately, Jake, his kid, broke his hand, so they didn't get to play with each other. But I coached Rodney on our D4 squad, and he played really well. He did get a couple penalties that actually ended up costing us the entire event. But up until that point, he was shooting guys off the break. He was winning 2-on-1s, 1-on-1s. Like, he played really well. He still got it. I mean, the penalty was like a talking penalty. He's like, that guy spun on me, and they threw a penalty on us because the guy spun 180 degrees and shot Rodney. And Rodney's like, that guy spun on me. And then they threw a penalty on us, and we lost that point and went down by 2.
It's one of the things both UWO and ICPL that I think is coolest is when you see like someone like a Rodney or a Rennick or one of those people that were like great back in the day and you know, whatever. Not that they're not great now, but you know what I'm saying. Like true icons of the game, professional paintball players. And then you see them now, and they're just great sometimes. Absolutely great. When they play. Now it's for a much shorter period of time. They don't run for far. Right. But, you know, there's stuff like Mooner. Mooner's one of the guys. I never knew how good Mooner was until I watched him play like an ICPL. And I'm like, this guy's a beast.
Yeah.
Rennick, too. I mean, Rennick crushed fools in the UWL stuff.
Did he?
Yeah. Rennick was amazing. Yeah, Rennick was amazing.
So apparently, and maybe I'm going to go on to the MLPB, but if you go to the MLPB website, this is coming from James Grundy up at Annandale Paintball. It says that if you go to the MLPB website, there's no mention of local fields or tournaments that will follow the standards of the leagues. So that's something that we need to fix. And then Matt Rao was saying that we should get this affiliate field banner code and send them out to any field that wants to become an affiliate. And there's a couple of quick band-aids that we can put on to get people at least kind of talking about something, right? Put some of this stuff to work. And this is great because this is like what we're talking about.
We'll try and fix the one idea.
Something else that a lot of
and I'm going to tell everybody this, right? So one of the challenges from my point of view, right, is a lot of times things make sense to me, right? Like if you register or you go online or whatever, go through the website, I'm always like, you just click here, 45 things, right? So if people see that stuff and stuff that they think information that should be available that they could not find, they should just let me know, right? Because I would appreciate that insight. Because sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees type of thing, right? And so, I hate it because like some Joe from Balco will call me and be like, where do I find this? And I'm like, it's right there. And then I'll go look for it and I'm like, that's a little harder to find than I would like. And he's right almost every time, right? It really was very difficult to find. So it's good to have that stuff, people pointing that stuff out, because a lot of times when you do it every day, it just becomes second nature.
Yeah, and then it was also could have been something that was implemented and then some bug on the system or something was unclicked when you guys updated your site. So, obviously we need to report those types of things. One thing that a lot of people have been mentioning, which I know is I mean, I do this for other companies, but influencer marketing, right? There are websites, which I've given to you guys in the past, but you can go on and you could actively look for influencers in a specific demographic and say, hey, look, we're hosting a paintball tournament. We'd love to give you XYZ to come out and experience. If you have 1 million followers, we'll give you $1,000 to come out and hang out and like post it or just post about it or whatever it might be, right? But utilize some outside industry sponsors or influencers that might be able to push it, because that is something, and this came from a lot of different people, but that is something that has been proven to work. Bear DeGidio built his entire company on that exact marketing platform, and then that also
that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to emulate Bear.
Just had to go something that's relevant, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, I say that they're brilliant over there, right? I mean, those guys are great with the marketing, especially the guerrilla marketing, right?
Yeah, and then the other one was do some combo sports, right? We've done this in the past where, like, why not? Like, I know it's another expense, but it sucks. But maybe partner with a BMX, put a BMX course at the event. I know you have plenty of extra space at all these things, and you can.
Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest challenges of the future is the space that we require.
You need a professional juggler or like archery or Anyway, but something
we had
else.
The elephants one time. Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can do, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, influencers playing paintball for the day, film it, and hopefully pull out their audience that go through there. I mean, we've done. There's been crossovers.
I agree with all that. I think we really need to pick a direction and just put all guns in that direction, right? So I'm going to lean towards and once again, people can chime in and tell me, but I'm going to lean towards that, getting more people involved in playing tournaments and getting that conversion rate up. I think should be our primary goal, because I think it helps the overall industry. It helps us grow. And every time we educate someone to tournament paintball, then we're also creating a built-in viewer and a fan and all that kind of stuff. So I think that would be good. And maybe that is done through influencers or whatever, but I think that should be our primary goal, is getting, so those 3 million people are already in the door. They've already expressed some interest in playing paintball. Mm-hmm. So I think it's like, we'll say it's like GI's job to get them interested into playing at the park. The parks and those guys' job to get it that way. And then it's the next level of people that's job is to get those people to convert into tournament players.
Right.
So I think that's where our focus should go.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's that. And I think someone mentioned here, like, the other sports don't do that. That's because the other sports have high school, intramural and college and
there's really, I'm going to say there's two kinds of sports that we always confuse ourselves with, right? So there's really just the entertainment from a viewership point of view, right? Basically, the NFL is a movie, right? It's a reality show is what that is, right? All of the big four are basically a reality show. and I'm not saying they're faked or whatever, but I'm saying that you're watching someone else participate in a sport. And the NFL doesn't really care how many people play football as much as they care if you watch football. And we have been built since inception, have been designed to convert people and keep people playing paintball. I'm not saying that's the right direction. I'm just saying that there's two distinct paths. Pickleball is trying to get people to play pickleball, and it's on TV to enhance people to play pickleball. Sure. The NFL is on TV to be entertaining. And those are two distinct different directions.
Right.
Golf is on TV not to be entertaining, but to keep people playing golf.
Well, it's twofold. It's twofold.
It's twofold. But their primary deal of PGA is the Golfers Association, right? They want more people to play golf.
Right.
And it just so happens they've done such a good job that lots of people watch it. But you don't have and maybe you do, I'm going to get in trouble there, but you don't have parties of people watching, just everybody that doesn't golf watching golf like you do for football and basketball. Right?
Yeah, and another thing that keeps coming up, and this is this is also relevant, and it can kind of add to what you're just talking about right there, is lowering the entry or creating some sort of way that Go Sports is more consumable. I mean, there's post-production Go Sports that you can kind of watch a lot of the videos online on YouTube and stuff like that. But being able to watch live for free, obviously it's stuck because you got to pay for it somehow. But I don't know. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
So you mean why Go Sports isn't free, or what that would mean?
Sure. How would you?
It's on the outside it looks super easy, right? I've even pitched this, right? So I went to the Sports Pro New York, right? I think I told you this, where we went and met and we sat in a room with all these different sports leagues, WWE, the Clippers, all these different people. We talked about, and actually they gave us a project in the room to create a league and take it to TV amongst our little group. So we kind of talked ideas. Obviously, I was the low man on the totem pole there. When I told them that we already had this many people paying our subscription, every single one of them said, don't do it. Because I went into that thinking they were going to tell me that you need to drive viewership and get it so people are paying for advertising, and that's the model, right? The NFL model. And literally, unanimously in that room, they all said, you never give up your paid model, whatever you got to do. And I'm not saying that that's the right way, but I'm just saying that's what they specifically said, because they're like, it's so hard to get that person to pay. And the fact that we have that many passionate people paying, and then that creates the quality of the work, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
So yes, we would have to drop the quality of the show a lot in order to make it free.
That's the give and take. That's the same concept. It's the same concept as why we're playing in very well manicured venues. Is we don't want entrance fee to be as expensive, then we have to go to paintball fields. We want to play on, lousier turf or grass or whatever it might be. We've got to go to a local paintball field, then we can make the entrance fee. No, you don't want that. Okay, you want the entrance fees lower, then we have to lower the amount of refs. Then you're going to get ref more poorly. There's expenses. Yeah, it's just you want a cheap steak, you're going to get probably a lousy cut of beef. It's just how the world works, unfortunately, for a lot of people.
You can't go to a Motel 6 and expect it to be a Marriott, right? There's always going to be.
Is the Tampa event going to be outside, or someone was asking about that?
Outside. It's outside. It's grass.
It's on the grass, right?
The grass parking lot.
Yeah, it's a grass parking lot. It's where it was in the 7-man days, correct?
Where it was in the 7-man days.
Yeah, killer.
Just a little bigger than they were, but yeah.
Right, of course.
Yeah, going to take up a lot more space.
Is there any other changes? I guess you've been tossing the idea around about, or we can know.
I'm not announcing any more changes until this thing dies down.
No, I think everybody's on your side now. Plus the people, we've lost 100 viewers, so there's basically no one watching at this point. So you can fire off. They'll give it to you straight. This is you want a focus group. This is how you got to do it. We should announce upcoming rule changes on Tuesdays at the Spicka Span Show.
One thing I will say, I've never felt like a lot of people sugarcoat stuff for me, even my friends. So I don't think that's the relationship we have with anybody. You've definitely told me horrible idea before.
Me?
Yeah, 100%.
Do you remember it?
I remember all the mean things you say to me.
Oh, I thought you said I've come up with a horrible idea.
I'm keeping a list. I try and throw back anytime I'm on these shows when you can't give a good rebuttal.
I love a lot of people. Yeah. A lot of people keep these lists, I guess.
A lot of people keep these lists. So.
Let's just wait a few weeks and then be like, we're changing the format to 2-on-2.
Yep.
And then let it just cook for like a couple hours and then be like.
That one was also a bad idea that I wish you would have run by me. I would have told you.
2v2?
The 2v2 was great. The way that you packaged it, because you were like, well, no one's signing up for it. We were hoping more people would sign up. And I'm like, well, yeah, because if you get your ass kicked in the first one and you're only paying the top 2 teams, then Ryan and Kyle got their ass kicked. They're not going to enter the one because I know I'm not going to win. It's going to be a waste of money.
We paid like 20th, and yes, I wasn't aware all our people were so afraid to lose.
Everybody's afraid to lose. Well, maybe not.
I was about to say,
a lot of losers.
They're not. We have a pro division that only up until this year, like only 5 teams had ever won in the past 10 years. So that means you're playing something for years knowing that you have a slim chance of winning. No, I think people like the competition. They want to. If you just wanted to win, Dynasty would be playing D5 until we made you not play.
I'm entering the other one. I'm entering intro.
You don't think you're contemplating it.
I'm going in intro.
It'd be an easier road.
Yeah.
Maybe Impact wouldn't steal people from that team.
You would be surprised who Impact will take. They'll steal from everybody.
Yeah, they don't steal a lot from D5 guys.
Yeah. What do you think about putting in turf on the pro field?
Never gonna happen.
Okay. Good. Thank you guys. I'm gonna stop asking that one. How about lower paint for lower divisions? I did like this concept, scaling up to pro. I'm sure the paint manufacturers wouldn't be super stoked on it, but basically you tier down, so pro would get unlimited, semi-pro would get X amount of paintballs, and then as you go down to D4.
All right, so in concept, I love limited paint, right? So purely from and yes, in a perfect world, it would go from the bottom division up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we did a test. I'm gonna say 2016, 2017, somewhere in the early years, right? Where we offered D5 limited paint, and we offered D5 shoot as much paint as you want, and it was literally 10-1 of teams signing up for the whatevers. No, sorry, I have a dog that says you've been on here too long. Oh God. So so I think people should want to shoot less paint. It's cheaper. It's whatever, yada yada yada. But that's not what people want to do. And really, the only way to get people to buy on that would be to have you guys do it first.
Sure.
Right. So people want to do what the pros do. And I do think like if we introduces an entry level division or something, that it should have limited paint. And Leds, and I'm going to give Leds credit, but I'm sure he has melded this from other people, but he believes like paint should all be included in the event. So if you pay $300 to play, you should be able to have your paint included the whole time, and that only works in a limited paint type format.
Yeah, and that's actually how Oliver did it with the HORMESIS duels or the 1v1s. Is you pay your entry fee, and that includes you play an hour one-on-one match with your team. And again, I don't remember I think that's the joust. You play an hour one-on-one. With a team of guys, and your $100 entry fee includes your paint during that time. That's cool. I mean that makes sense.
Well, because it's one of the weird things about paintball, and playing some ICCs with a team that I didn't think was going to win or whatever, like with Bad Company when we were like throwing the old guys together. There's that point on Saturday when you're like, wow, if we shoot 5 guys, we're going to have to play on Sunday, which means it's going to be a lot more paint. And I know we're not going to win. So, it's just more expensive the further I go. So
playing for Bad Company with Tom. Hey guys, we're going to play and we're going to have a good time, but let's try not to make Sunday because I can't quite afford it.
If we were dominating, I'd be like, let's go. But you don't want to squeak in, right?
See, that's the funny thing is Dynasty loves to squeak in.
Yeah, well.
Can you explain to everybody why we have so many bunkers, why we have large bunkers, and so on and so forth?
You know what? You need to get Jason on this show. He can explain all that crap.
I know. Jason refuses to come on to the show. Jason's smart. Jason will make a decision, good, bad, or ugly, and he'll be like, I'm not going on to anywhere to defend it. Like, you got to know who I am to come up and talk to me and present your case.
Yeah, and he's wearing like a jersey for something that no one knows what it is or something.
Yeah, he's got a hoodie on that he got in.
He's definitely the smart one. No, I mean the more. I mean, there's more movement, the more bunkers, and it's easier to play, right? I mean, we want to be every person's game, and one of the challenges is we're building a field for every level of play at the tournament, right? So, we're designing this to make sure it's competitive for pros to play and fun to watch, and then also fun to play at the divisional level and fair for everybody there. And that's, to be honest with you, the layout thing is probably one of the hardest things that we do. You think about it, like I make a couple decisions a year that people are going to destroy online, and he makes one every event that people are going to destroy online, right? And in the end, field layout is so subjective, and half those people don't know what the hell they're talking about. Right?
For sure.
I mean, they know what they like, but they don't know what it takes to make a fair field and all that stuff. So it's, it is what it is. But yeah, I think that's one of the challenging things that we do. And the more bunkers we have, the easier it is for him. So I support that 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think, we're trying to keep a game. I mean, we've been playing Airball now for how many years? 30? Something like that. So there's a limited amount
25.
of choice. 25?
No, 27 or 8. It was introduced at that 98 World Cup. They had one airball field, one hyperball field, and then the rest were all the woods. In 98.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was 96 that Smart Parts had one at Pittsburgh.
Maybe. You could be right.
Because they had one that was on a hill, which was kind of crazy, right? An airball field on a hill. That's something we would try. We'll try hills next time. You get the upside and the downside. But yeah, and it wasn't 2002 that we had the hyperball. It was way before that, right? What year did you say?
we had a hyperball prior to but 98 was when the World Cup had hyperball and airball together.
Got it.
The first double.
Took second at that one, just for the record. Took second at World Cup with that one. Lost to Aftershock.
You sure?
Positive.
Okay. You did lose to Out of Control in the prelims.
In 2002?
Oh, I'm talking about 98. Sorry.
Not 2002. I'm talking about 96 or whatever. Yeah.
98.
In 2002, we beat you guys. Yes,
really?
We did. Yes, we did. I had the score sheet for a long time because it was 99-1. And
you beat us 99-1.
Yes, we did. And I actually had a great line.
The score sheet. Putting up
so, hold on. So Jason Andre, we gave him no pods, and he ran up the middle, and we bunkered you. We beat you guys fast, right? And then I went by your dead box, and you guys were like, "He played without a pack. That's not legal." I was like, "I think you guys got bigger things to worry about, whether he played with a pack or not after that game."
Dude, we love to complain, man.
So,
we love to complain. Right, Callie?
But yeah, I kept the score sheet because that was one of the few times we actually beat you guys. And we were playing with $100 spiders. You guys are playing with some tricked out angel.
I won a car with the $100 spider. I actually just saw it because we posted that Tippmann picture or video the other day, and I was kind of asking what people's starter guns were, and someone was like, Tippmann, was it the Tippmann? It was the composite grip frame, the plastic grip frame. I was like, I won a car with that one. Yeah, $100 Tippmann.
Yeah, the spiders were good guns back then, so it's it. Okay. You gotta call me out. It's been an hour. Don't y'all usually have a second person on the show?
No. We literally were kind of barely treading water for the first 20 minutes before you got here. No,
I didn't even know there was something before me. I just thought it started at 6:30. So
no, we're 4 p.m. 4 p.m. every. You got to know this stuff. You got to know there aren't a whole lot of media outlets here in paintball, and you as the president of the league should be on top of all of the media teams here and what's going on.
I am. I just don't know what time you guys air.
Yeah.
There's something cool. People text me and say, "Did you hear what they said about you? Did you hear what they said?" Yada yada yada.
Do you? Are we still doing the layout drops 1 weekend before? Or 1 week? Okay. Not doubling up that.
Nope. That seems to be another thing that no one really likes, but has been really helpful to our growth.
And so is paintball as a whole, I know you mentioned it earlier, is it growing or is it shrinking? Where do you see the next year and 5 years of paintball?
So I think we need to do something pretty rapidly. Well, I shouldn't say rapid. I mean, we're steady, right? We're growing at a small rate, which could be, indicative of a mature market, right? Mm-hmm. But I think we could do a significant better job as an industry, not just us, and not just any one group, but as an industry, we could do a better job of recruiting more people to making them lifers. And so, like I said, we're growing. I mean, I think the NXL and its brands are growing pretty rapidly, to the point where, my biggest dilemma is venues, right? Like, we can't go to Vegas anymore. Like, if we lose World Cup, we're gonna have to find another place there, right? So we got some challenges there, based upon our growth. But if we're college, we have to make sure that elementary school, junior school, and high school are all growing at the same rate we are, or we're going to be wondering why there's no more people applying for college, right? So we've got to make sure that funnel is filled. And I think it helps the industry to make that happen. So I think that's something we got to work on. So, yeah. And I do think that, like I said, I've never felt so much positiveness from the outside world as we are recently, right? Like, I feel like every time I talk to people throughout history, they've been definitely down on us. And this is the first time I feel like everybody I talked to is pretty positive. I mean, I think I told you GoPro reached out to us out of the blue, right? Just was like, hey, what do we got to do? We really appreciate GoPro.
Oh, awesome. Finally, it's about time.
Yeah. But I mean, it was just a cold email that's like, hey, we noticed what you guys are doing. We really appreciate it. They wanted to jump. I jumped on a little call with them and kind of went through like what our future looks like and how that looks and what cameras they felt like would fit into that. But it's just, it's kind of refreshing to have all this stuff. Gel Blaster, all those guys are kind of like, it's been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hurts.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad that you are seeing positives there. You can't see the chat comments. Are you looking at the comments in the chat?
No.
Okay, good. Just go ahead and don't read those and stick to the positives of what you're getting on the side, because there are certainly some people that are not very happy with you, despite not understanding. And I implore all the people who are watching this, kind of like saying that what he's not doing is right. A couple of things that you guys do need to do is watch our previous interviews and the ones on all the others with Tom on them, and I believe that you're going to see that he is doing his best. And I don't like to say it like that. I would say more that he's doing a very good job, and something that a lot of people are unable to do, especially under the circumstances. And Tom, I obviously commend you every time, and I do think that you obviously screwed up royally on this one, but it didn't. At the end of the day, changing a name, which again you guys walked back, which is also very admirable of you guys, but that was going to have zero effect on anybody's life, except for, again, the kids that were semi-pro that were like, I'm pro for about 6 hours, and they got to change their profile pictures and names on MySpace.
Dude, you're calling that girl that turned him down 3 times?
That's right. Hey, babe, guess what? I made it to the bigs.
Get it.
Then, damn it.
Get it while you can.
Yeah, don't tell her yet. Don't tell that chick yet.
Turn the internet off so she gets there.
But look, I think you're doing a great job, and it's obviously you've got very thick skin.
I do.
Yeah, and look, guys, paint is as cheap as it could possibly get, and that's actually...
I don't control that.
Yeah, he doesn't control that, and as a matter of fact, that is not good for the industry. Whatever you guys think it or not, paint prices, in my opinion, should be a couple dollars more expensive per box, especially at tournaments, because then there's going to be more money in the league to be spent on teams and players and infrastructure and all this stuff. But when everybody's fighting to get to the bottom and there's this war of attrition of we're doing our best not to go out of business, that is not good for the league. Now, at your local fields, that's up to your local field what they're going to charge. Paintball is an affluent sport. Okay, someone did mention in there, like, if you're street racing your cars and you got to pay $10 a gallon gas, like, that's expensive too. Golf, if you're hitting $5 shank and $5 balls into the woods like Kyle, that's expensive also. There are affluent sports out there, and there are ways that that you can handle things. And you got to be very crafty and clever. Obviously on the West Coast, it's the Wild West over here. I talked to some guys at the field, and I was like, how much you pay for paint? They're like, $23 a case. I go, what? Like, how is that possible?
It is insane.
Yeah.
I don't even know how they do it.
No, because it comes in from China, I think. Unloads there at the docks in LA. But
got it.
Yeah.
It's the Wild Wild West.
Yeah, it is. It is. So yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everybody's got an opinion. Just keep playing. Just keep playing. And yeah, I didn't think, obviously the name change really shouldn't affect how much people enjoy the game one way or another, right? And if anything, that it just shows that, we've done a good job branding the names up until now to where people feel, some attachment to them.
Sign me up for communism if I can get $23 a case.
Yeah.
Oh man. Hey, say what you'd like about California and our high taxes and our wildfires, but you can get cases of paint for $20. It might be a blue Democratic state, but that might get you Texans to move on out here if you're getting paint for $20.
Todd alluded to some. I don't know if it was before we got. Well, I guess the whole show got knocked off about bringing in some outside stuff, didn't he?
Yeah. You guys, we got some big outside. Todd Adamson told us on the show last week about that new sponsor you guys got.
Who was that?
The show got.
We're asking you.
Yeah, it's just like want to make sure you're in the loop. You know what I mean?
We have it written down here.
Yeah, no, I usually find out about most of those big moves on your show. I'm sad I missed Todd's interview there.
But you can tell everybody if you want.
No, it's all right. I'll let him keep the get all the glory there. I'm not a glory hound. I've already done my duty for today. I've made sure this show was well watched from the beginning. But someone literally texted me and said, "Did you really do like a fake post so that you would get everybody to watch that show?"
Yeah, I was gonna say. It'd be interesting if that was like how we announced our partnership. You're like, hey, the league is in full support of the Spick and Span show, and that's we're just going to be constantly. You're gonna have to tune in every week to see if what we are announcing is real or not. Yeah. Next week, the NXL is actually announcing that in the center 50 there is going to be a pit of tigers, and there's gonna be a flag with a zip line over the top. If you get that flag, you get an extra 5 points in your score. If you fall into the tiger pit, sign up. And Tom caught the tiger. You better be here next Tuesday at 4 p.m. to see if that one's actually going to come to fruition or not. Sponsored by GoPro.
That's not bad. Not bad at all.
And Tiger
not bad at all. Yeah, I don't have anything else out. You guys have worn me out. I entered this conversation super perky. Feel like today was going great.
We didn't wear you out. You wore yourself out. That's like complaining, I wore the wrong shoes. I wore Birkenstocks to go run a marathon. And then you got back and everybody's like, hey, you're an idiot for wearing those shoes. And you're like, I guess so. Like, that's what you did.
But he took them off at like mile 10.
You took them off at mile.
You got new shoes.
You took them off at the what is it, 27 mile, at 27 and a half mile. And then he's like, I'm going to come on the show.
I went back to the start. Starting over.
Tired.
I feel like it could have gotten worse.
Good. It's all right. We're giving away some semi-pro entry fees here, courtesy of the NXL on the wheel. Here. Thank you, Tom.
Anytime. Anything I can do to help. I'm giving away anything. I'm giving away beginner 3-man.
Beginner 3-man.
Something I was going to throw in there. I don't know what I was going to say. But all right. Let me out of here.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, guys. Thank all the people online.
Hey,
too much sleep tonight.
Sleep well. Lock your door. Keep a loaded revolver by the door. I don't know what's going to happen out there. But, yeah. Anyway, be vigilant.
I'm in BFE, Tennessee, so I don't think anybody's going to find me.
All right, Tom. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Later, Tom.
All right. Yeah, Kyle, you said it right. They walked it back.
That's cool.
Not a lot of thought. He thought it was going to work. It didn't. And they changed it. There's literally no harm. No harm, no foul.
Yeah.
I do, however, I appreciate Verbal. I appreciate you and everybody else who, when I said, what do you guys think? Like, we were writing them down. We wanted to voice your guys' opinions and thoughts. They were coming in pretty quickly. But don't just complain. Don't just say he's horrible for this without having a fix. I think one of the big things is, and this is, I coach this a lot, is like, if you encounter a problem, find a solution. Don't just scream about a problem the whole time, hoping that someone else is going to solve your problem. That's not gonna get us anywhere. And you're playing paintball and you're like just yelling the 3 spots or yelling this guy's on me. That doesn't really explain what you need help with. And this is a big like life lesson, a big lesson on the field. Be like, just say, hey, Tom, I don't like these names. I think these could have been better. Rather than you're an idiot, you're not doing it right. It's like, okay, cool. Well, what do you want me to do? Like, what can we do? Again, we need to grow this together. And I do believe that there can be a better way of going about the way that they've done it. And I've talked to them before. Like, what kind of focus groups do you have? Because I don't know if you guys recall when we did the PSP, and everybody's like, the PSP was so much better. Do you guys remember True Semi? They didn't ask any of us about that. They said, guess what? You're doing True Semi. It's going to be better. And then they said, hey, we're changing the field sizes. Every year they change the size of the field. Like, what's the point? They're like, well, I think, you know what we're doing? We're 15 balls a second. We're doing 12 and a half balls a second. You know, we're doing 10 balls a second, 10 and a half. True Semi. Like, there was no rhyme or reason. They didn't explain. They didn't talk about it. They just, here's the new rule. And we've talked about any rule changes, and I think Bart's on board, and because we've mentioned it so many times, is like,
should do like some polls or votes, and
there we go.
Just to get it. Especially on Instagram, you can do a post and get a poll.
Your favorite.
Or like go to the website and sound off your opinion. It's just multiple
comments
choice.
Comments box.
Well, you don't even have to do comments box. You just do multiple choice. We're not going to necessarily go with the biggest vote, but we want to hear your opinion.
Take a survey.
And you're also like driving traffic to whatever you're trying to.
That's actually, I forgot to ask him this one. Damn it.
NXL or Major League Paintball.
That's actually a really good good idea. Is there should be, or there could be, on the MLPB website, people on here that are very, 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 like, vocal on how dumb he is and how bad he is and how X, Y, and Z. Maybe we should recommend that they set up a survey group, a focus group. You want to join this thing? Anytime we have some new concepts, please keep it confidential. What do you think of these 3 ideas? Should the time limit be changed with here? In order for us to reduce the entrance fee, we need to shave off a minute per match. What do you think about that? Okay. What do you think about this? Or how about this paint new rule or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're right. Finlay, let's see, spent hundreds of hours putting together a very different proposal to help fix 10 different issues. Rescheduled our scheduled meeting to address those fixes multiple times. Solutions are useless without action. You are absolutely right. So they are useless without action. That is, but you're right. So if we're in a A, B, C, D bracket or division 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 bracket, you're right. There's complaints and there's actionable action here, and in the middle are the steps it takes to get to that position. So, yeah, let's loop me in on the email and let's get it going. I'll help Jimmy. I'll help you get that sorted. So, yeah. Look, not everybody's perfect. So let's get it fixed, right? I don't think anything's perfect. I was on a call the other day, and it doesn't matter what it is, right? It's very difficult to get something perfect. You know, you might think you made the best product and known to man, and someone's gonna always have something to nitpick about it. And we've talked about that before. It's very difficult to be in any type of position like that. So, yeah, and again, you don't know. We don't know. No one knows. No one knows what anybody. Damn, you can read that small.
Well, I'm closer.
Oh man, I can.
I couldn't read it well if it was where yours was.
Okay, good. All right. That makes me feel
closer.
better. Makes me feel better. So, you should have you shared the impetus behind the brackets name Meat Cup. I like that name too, pal. Yeah, we've already addressed the name thing. That was at the beginning of the show. And yeah. Also, here's another great one, guys. If anybody has any of these contacts, right? We want to get celebrities, influencers, big name corporations involved in the league. Like, let's hear it, right? And if you can't get a hold of Tom, which I believe his email's on the website, and I think he does, get back to people, not always. I'm happy to help liaise with some of that stuff. Alex FRAIGE is a good one. Yes, that's as big a celebrity as we got in this league right now. Actually, to be completely honest with you, yeah, I'll try to help. I mean, I've got my hands kind of full, but whatever. I'm with it. I'm with growing the sport while complaining, because you sure know I like to complain.
They said they're doing the award show, or we.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even ask him about that.
I thought you wrote that down.
I did, and I circled
I was like, did I miss that?
No, but you said I put venue next year. We talked about the venue, so we will be hosting the. Should we call him back?
No.
One more question, because I didn't ask for his top stock picks, because he did say it's a healthy economy. I wanted to know, guys. Will you put your top stock picks?
Not financial advice.
Yeah. Rigatoni's back, baby. Because I need some help. Let's go ahead and spin this wheel also, and yeah.
I'm with you guys too that we're talking about having turf, but I do understand like the infrastructure of setting it up, because they did try it before and just put it on a flat surface parking lot, and it is super slippery. So like when you go play on turf at these fields, there's a lot of work and time spent in making them good turf fields. Versus like if you try to set up at an event, it's gonna be really difficult and probably not good turf framing. I wish, can we go back to grass?
You're absolutely right about that. Like,
you can't just like roll it out the carpet. Otherwise, it's gonna feel like carpet.
Right, because you need to grade the ground, you need to compact it. Otherwise, it'll still kind of get dug out. You can't just roll it over grass. And honestly, most of the venues have pretty decent grass. I think World Cup's probably the worst. In my opinion, I think World Cup's probably the worst. And then it just because it gets ruts dug out of it.
One of the best grass.
Are we getting stock picks? What do we got? Nvidia. Come on, Fart coin. Let's go. What do we got?
Was that Phoenix event where the grass was thin like turf?
I love it. Cody Sadaway, and we're gonna give away a bunch of prizes here. I owe you guys some stuff. I also have this box here from Mr. Doc that I got to send out to you. So we're gonna send out a couple of items here. Also, if you have not gotten your prize for winning at the Spick and Span charity raffle, everything should have been sent out, right, Meter? And Damien, those are the last two.
Damien's jersey. If you won Damien's jersey, might be a little bit of weight.
Yeah, I have the.
Well, I texted him too. I don't know if he's sending me.
It went to Steve, and I know that Steve got a confirmation with the tracking information. So maybe Steve is in here. Steve Sant.
I can look it up.
Did it good? Did it ship? Is it at your doorstep? Did Damien get the label?
Oh yeah, no, I gave him the label.
Oh okay, great.
I wanted to see. We can do this.
Steve's in the chat here, so we're gonna be giving away a handful of prizes as we go. As everybody knows, Jason Rad, yeah, well, that's a name right there. Spin that JT mask frame on the Dynasty box. This one right here? No. This one's cool. This is my gamer mask.
Yep. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it sent out yet. Pre-shipment. Awaiting item.
I'll give a couple of these out. These are pretty cool. These are Dynasty 3D printed Dynasty card holder sets. So I am going to. Jason Motto has not gotten his thing. What do you win, Jason?
Texas Menace also.
Texas Menace.
Oh, but that was
Oh, that's from Joey Ryan. Okay. Yeah. Texas Menace. Okay. Let me I will hit up Joe and see where that jersey is. And Steve has not gotten his.
Which we saw with Damien just now.
Okay. Yeah, card holders. So these will hold your Dynasty Gold card set. You can hold any kind of cards in here. These are pretty cool. These came from Dewey and Dan from Chicago. These are pretty neat. So we'll send out a couple of those. But Meat Cup, sorry, you are not eligible to win a prize. But thank you for watching and being active in the chat. Contact with Axel Hodges in San Diego. Axel Hodges. Let me write his name down. Hey Matt, will you DM me that contact or that person's name? Oh, who just won? What did I just miss? Justin Graham. Alrighty. What else do we have? World Cup isn't a true reflection of Florida grass. The problem with it is you guys are literally playing a cow field. Okay, well, I've also played at fields in Florida, and it's like this sandy crabgrass kind of yuck nonsense here. So, I played with a handful of different places that in Florida. There's not the best grass, but yeah. How do you get on the wheel, BD? If you
with that join button.
Yeah, join. Yeah, subscribe to the channel, and then you can join as a member for as low as I think $2.99 a month, and you get your name on the wheel. You get these little emojis. Your name is in green. You support the channel, which is what we really appreciate. I mean, anybody just tuning in, if you guys hit a like button and you guys are watching, whether you support or are active in the channel at all, we really appreciate you guys even tuning in, and yeah. So anything helps. We appreciate everything that everybody does for the show.
A lot of good questions and
today was
too from everyone.
Yeah, today was great. Today was great.
I like seeing that.
Also, once you Joey, I actually liked the Philly non-grass, that dirt, that even the dust, like when we played it on without the grass grown. I thought the ground was great. Yeah. I really like playing on like dirt. You can feel it. I would assume it's kind of like akin to playing on clay versus grass for tennis. Yeah. You know, I think it's so wild that you can play on a grass court for tennis and the ground's like hard enough. Yeah. I've never really played on those, but I think it's pretty cool.
The Vegas event made for some good photos and videos. Mm-hmm. Dust going out.
That one hurt.
That ground was a little.
That was a little. Yeah, you want like compact, hard. Like you kind of want to play on the clay where it's like it's hard but kind of like has a little bit of give to slide. You don't want to have like hard, dusty, like soft.
Yeah. What was Velocity? Those little like tiny pebbles.
Velocity paintball.
Yeah. Where they had those like little. It was like little tiny gravel.
Oh, it was like kitty litter. It was like
You kind of roll it across it because it's all these tiny balls.
All right, we're gonna put the mega members here. So if you're a mega support status member, I've got some good stuff here. I got some frames. I've got some cool stuff. We're gonna throw away We're gonna throw in HORMESIS band. I've got and actually we have one more purple band left from a Tiger Woods band. So let's go 2 bands here for.
Should we show this? Who's this?
Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. This is a great show. We're not trying to get kicked off here. We're not going to try to get kicked off here. All right, so super mega support status members, the highest tier membership that we offer. We really appreciate all you guys. We've had guys on here for 2 through 4 years, 5 years right here. D's on 4 years. I mean, that's epic. So again, we appreciate everybody who joins in. Hit him with a Greenspan jersey. We will do it. We'll do some jerseys. I need to get my jerseys. I think there's a box of stuff JT just sent up there.
Oh yeah, show me some.
Also, while we have a bunch of you guys, anybody who out there who is looking for team sponsorship, the Imperial program is live right now at paintballsponsorship.com, starting at $250 for NXL and $350 for regional teams. You can get head-to-toe setups, goggles, custom jerseys designed by Jared Lackey. No design fee. You get matching pants. You get loaders, tanks, regs, packs, team shirts, team banners. Like the amount of gear you get in the Imperial program is insane. And it varies best depending on what division you're in, but still it's a killer deal. Pretty much upwards of 40 to 60% off of retail value, depending on what division you're in. Also, paint contingencies. If you play at the NXL level and you win, they cover your entire paint bill. And if you guys are playing in local regional supported leagues, WCPPL is one of them. MSXL, NEXL, NRP. There's a lot of them. The MAX, USXBL. If you win first through third, there is paint contingencies as well. The MVPS. That's right, Jake. So lots of them. And George Martinez, I have the list of all the members that I download every single week, and it tells me how long you've been a member. I'll tell you exactly how long you've been a member in just 1 second here. Whoops, that's the wrong button. Let's spin it for a headband here.
Boom.
Boom. Boom. So yeah, you can learn more about there's all the names. Let's see, Georgie.
If you haven't already enjoyed the show, hit that thumbs up button right under the title. Please do.
George Martinez III has been a member for 48.3871 months. If you can do the math on the decimal places there, bravo. That's like 12 days, I think. Steve Smith winning a headband.
How'd you get so good at math? You're like quick with it always.
I mean, I'm like give or take. Right?
You're usually pretty close.
0.38.
Better than most.
It's like a little over 1/3, and there's I'm like 13 days, 13 days, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Anybody answer it? I don't know. What's 30?
Well, how did you get so good at it?
I don't know. I'm old.
Yeah, but you've always been good at it.
Thanks, dude. Did anybody do that?
It's
the spring water in the ocean. Yeah. 700 months for Bobby Kramer. Let's go. I don't know if that's right. B Gravy. Yes. Isn't he a rapper? I think I say that every time that B Gravy wins. Let's see here. What does Pate have to say? Ryan, Nate Trader, and I think you should run the league. Thanks, Nate. Thanks, Pate. I've already pledged my services to JT Core and that area right there, which is pretty exciting. We got a lot of cool things that are coming into effect here over the next couple of months, which I'm really excited to be a part of. Also, Jared Lackey's doing some new designs, and we're gonna be launching stuff for seasonally: spring, summer, winter, fall. So you get some. Hey, Chris Dahl, I owe this man a beer. We've got a lot of really cool things that are coming out. Goggle announcements and launches coming soon. We're also going to be doing old school type promos and photo shoots, revamping the websites, and again, yeah, that Imperial, the Imperial program is launched right now. So again, if you guys are a team looking for some light at the end of the tunnel, looking for some organization, looking to match each other on the field, head to toe. You know, you want to look like your favorite team. You want to look like Aftershock. You want to look like Demetrius Ninos on X Factor. And you're like, that guy looks good. I want to look exactly like him, right? There's a lot of things you have to do, but one of the first things you should do is get JT products head to toe with joining the Imperial program. Then grow your hair out a little bit, get that stock portfolio up a little bit, buy a fancy car, get a beautiful pedigree dog, name it Penelope, move to Dallas.
Chipper.
Yep. And then you're right on your way. You're right on your way. And yes, I actually did work for JT. We talked about it on the show last time. I used to weed the names out of all the things after calling all the credit card companies to make sure that there was no fraud. Can you believe that that's how they have to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, next up on the I've got 150 of these. So what are you wearing? Smurby. And yeah, you got it.
No, you got it.
So down below, there is a join button right next to the subscribe button, just to the left of the thumbs up button. Which thank you everybody, 114 likes. You can join the channel by clicking the join button. Yeah. And yes, Jeff, I did cut the sublimations off the jerseys. Wait, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. And yeah, we've got a couple little perks here every time we spin the wheel, as long as we don't get banned. Or go overtime.
Yeah,
we're spinning wheels. We're giving stuff away, and our sponsors are awesome enough to donate lots of stuff. Every package that goes out, you're getting a Nectar puck, courtesy of the Nectar Boys. We've got BFP Gear always donates goods. Arfon and Gen X Global, and then we did these cool collab shirts. We need to get some of these. Can we get some more of these collab shirts made?
Yeah, you're supposed to send us some of these.
You guys want to grow paintball? There it is. Tigerwear. Pate Smith Law. Support paintball. There it is. That's what we need to do. That's how you got to grow it. Or you can get your weekly fast pass to the doghouse. If that doesn't grow paintball right there, because you wear that thing somewhere out in the public, people are like, what is that hideous shirt you're wearing? And you're like, well, it's a paintball shirt. And then next thing you know, you're talking about paintball, and then you're like, I'm D4. And they're like, what does that mean? And you're like, gosh, I wish I said amateur B. And then bing, the whole time you're going to go, dude, Tom was right this whole time.
I almost wore that today, actually. That shirt.
And for the record, I think that shirt is awesome.
Oh, yeah, I brought you this JT shirt.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much.
Sweet.
Yeah, Miami watermelon. All right. Yeah, guys. Also, the cleats link is, I'll put a new, there's a new link for New Balance cleats.
I just saw some of those, too, at Dick's Sporting Goods the other day. I was thinking about, I like the way the spikes are on the bottom of those.
Yeah, those are cool.
They didn't have the best colors when I was there. It was mostly just white, which are...
So I do have Eflux. Hell yeah, guys! Thank you very much for joining.
Smurby, welcome. Eflux.
Yep. Let me do this. Guys, dude. We're gonna do another wheel spin. Get everybody back logged in here. Let me fire it in here. Yes, and Dynasty will be in Mexico next week. come check us out in Guadalajara at I don't know if it's Chimera Sports or it's just Arturo's Field. It's gonna be awesome. Shout out to everybody down in Mexico.
What prompted doing that?
You know, we've been talking about it for a while, and it was just kind of like, where are we gonna get good weather? You know, it's gonna be a good time. It just shows support for Arturo.
Yeah.
You know, he's been supporting us for so long, and you know he does a really good thing down there. So, trying to grow paintball. You know what I mean?
You guys have a team you're gonna play? Or?
No, we're just gonna play each other.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I believe there's a guy named Diego who won, not your Diego, but your ex-Diego, your ex. There's one of the Champs Club members who won a trip to Dynasty Practice who didn't cash it in, didn't come. So that's the one he's going to come to.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's a really good sushi spot where you guys are probably staying.
I'm just going to not.
It's incredible.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Chef Mike. I think we got Chef Mike coming out for the first actual team practice.
Oh, nice.
Dude, we're on it, man. We're cruising. Now that we don't have to pay the bloated salaries of, you know, Archie and Marcelo and Chris Shear. Dude,
Joe Barrett's going to tell you, too, this place is...
Joe is a sushi guy.
Yeah.
And he does like sushi. I don't know. Yeah, you know, hey, I believe him. I'm going to believe everybody.
I mean, they got other stuff besides just sushi.
I'm into it. I'm not going to knock it. I was exclusively going down for the tacos. Let's get a couple more wheel spins here. Doing prizes. Also, everybody who has just joined, Kev Switz, the channel, make sure you reach out to us on Instagram or email, and thank you, Doc is on it. See that? Send it into our Spick and Span Instagram channel, and make sure we have your address. Yeah, that's it.
You think they would knock us off for showing this? It doesn't really look
don't
that much
do
like
it. Please don't do it. Don't do it. And that's mine. Don't do it.
Well, maybe we should show the tipman.
Yeah.
The tipman that you...
The tipman will get you banned. It'll get you shot on the streets.
Yeah, someone might come to the house.
Yeah. Tipman's also having a sale for those of you guys who are looking to get a gift for a friend, an entry-level player to play in that beginners league that Tom was talking about. And yeah, sushi in Mexico, that's like we said, going to Japan for Italian food. It's like, I'm sure it's good, but it's, you know, not that great.
Joe's gonna convince you, and then after we'll talk about it.
Okay, I'll do it just for you guys. What up, Diesel Photos?
Wait, that's this weekend? Are you going?
Next weekend.
Oh, next week.
Next weekend. And yeah, anyway, thank you guys again very much for all your support. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for liking the channel. Thank you for doing everything that you do and talking about paintball. Good, bad, ugly. Guys, we're all in this together. Whether you like it or not, we're in this together. So let's be positive to move things forward. And boom, take the sushi bullet for us, he says. Road sushi. Dude, there's this OXXO gas station that has the bombest sushi around.
Tecate.
Yeah. If you guys want to pick up a Hall of Icons sweatshirt and support the Hall of Icons project, go ahead and message me directly. Oh, let's go. Breaking news. Devin Stewart and Nico Hyde to Outlaw AP Semi-Pro Team. Let's go. Philip Middleton making moves. Love that. All right. Yes, and Jason Motto. That is the, what was that thing called? The barrel spec. Oh, we're
showing you
we're showing you guys the behind the scenes BTS here. That's not a bad acronym, is it? Like I said last week.
I don't
know. Anyway, we're out, guys. Thank you all very much for your support, and we'll see you next week. The Flatline Barrel. Let's go, dude. I thought that said Joe Rogan. Dude, Josh Rogan, get us on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, my uncle runs this YouTube show. It's pretty popular.
We should say next week. Joe Rogan's come on.
Yeah. Tune in next week for a special episode with Joe Rogan. Yeah. Or maybe not. And the Tiger Pit.